Well, hello again, everybody. Hopefully you're watching this video because you read our article from Ben and Jared about SAMR and how the impact in the science classroom can be seen to really thinking about the use of technology. For those of you that haven't heard of SAMR, it's really a model that was made popular by Dr. Ruben Pinedera many years ago, looking at how we can focus better on how the technology is transforming learning in the classroom. And so as we dig into it, we see that the S stands for substitution. In this case, there really is no functional difference between how the technology has changed the activity that the students are engaging in. So as an example of this, if we think about a typical worksheet, students perhaps are given a photocopied lesson or structural organizer that they can fill in information. In the substitution model, there really is no difference between how students receive this with the technology. So in this case, they may be provided the same information on a website that you create that they could have just simply received by a photocopied printout. So not that that's bad, but we obviously want to try and move along this model looking at the A. When we focus on the A, we're seeing augmentation. And in augmentation, we're taking that same perhaps online digital worksheet where students might be able to just simply print it out or copy information and change the activity in a way. So let's look at it from the perspective of a bridge building activity. In bridge building, students might design different types of structural engineering models to build toothpick bridges or soda straw bridges or something like that. Well, in this particular case, you might ask the students, instead of filling out that form by printing it out or filling it out by typing in it, instead, perhaps submit it to a Google form where they can see the results of all of their peer group. Or maybe you're just the one that's seeing the results. But in augmentation, you're not really changing the activity. The students are still simply submitting their information to you or to their peers. They're just using the technology in a way that functionally improves the manner by which they complete that activity. Now, when we get kind of above the line to the M and the R, now we're really starting to talk about modification of the activity. In this case, there is a completely different task design that the technology allows to happen. So let's go back to that particular example of the bridges again. So you might, in this activity, ask students on graph paper to draw out what that bridge that they're going to build would look like. Now, that's all well and good, but how can we use technology to completely change the activity? Well, we can do that by using a tool like VoiceThread. When we change the way that the activity is done by modifying it, now using a tool like VoiceThread, students can upload their model, their design that they drew out, maybe by hand or digitally using some type of CAD tool, and students or their teacher can now comment. So you'll notice here in this screen capture, I was able to draw onto and voice comment using my microphone in my computer to tell the student what it was that they did that I particularly liked about their design, or I thought might be novel or might be different than what they've done in the past. Now, how does this differ from, how do all of these things differ from the R, where we really are trying to get students to move to, that redefinition? This is where the technology allows that which really was never thought even possible. In this example, we're going to take that voice thread and we're going to say, you know, that's great. We're able to have students comment on each other's work. We're able to memorialize that, but memorialize it where? Well, using a tool like perhaps Evernote, students can now design portfolios and really archive all of the things that were along the way to evidence their learning in some type of digital artifact to evidence all of the processes that were going on along the way. So you can see how without a tool, an online portfolio tool or a note tool like Evernote, or Notability, students would never have been able to collect and gather all of the media elements. So along the way, students might take pictures, take video of the work that they're doing in building this bridge and make it so that they're able to actually show in one big picture what it is that they've learned along the way. So as we think about SAMR, this is not a commentary on which stages are good or what stages are bad. Understand that technology use happens in the classroom every day at all four of these levels. But obviously, as we get farther across the continuum, we also marry that with higher order thinking skills that we're asking students to achieve. We're asking them to be creative problem solvers as we redefine the work that they otherwise could not have done in the past without the technology. You're never going to live in M and R. You're going to live somewhere in the middle. You might be near augmentation and modification all the time and only visit the redefinition side of technology use, and that is completely okay. But what's important is creating this common vocabulary that we can share with our administrators and also share with our students so that they know that we're trying to change the way that they are demonstrating their learning and change the way that they evidence and artifact all of the things that they've learned along the way. So hopefully this little glimpse of SAMR helps you be able to have those conversations with your students and your school leaders and your teachers about using technology thoughtfully to transform the classroom and the learning.